Review for George C. Scott's The Changeling, 1980. I just watched this, and I have to say I thought it was amazing. Wow, I've never seen this before. I've heard from different YouTubers I watch. Shout out to Rambo Ralph for life. He's a big fan of this movie, and I never watched it. For some reason, I always thought it was like I knew it was a horror movie, but I thought it was like kind of like a creature feature. But I never knew much about it, and yeah, I just watched it, and man, I thought it was amazing. Um, it's directed by Peter Medic, and apparently he didn't really do much in his career. He did like Species 2, I guess. Oh, he did a movie, another movie called The Babysitter. Did he do Species 2? Yeah, which I don't remember that, but yeah, this is a really interesting movie. So George C. Scott, he's like a, I guess like a famous composer of music. And the very beginning of the movie, his wife and daughter get killed in a car accident. They're like on the side of the road, it's all snowy. Their car breaks down or gets stuck or something. He goes over to a nearby phone booth, and which, yes, there used to be these things called phone booths. um, some kid may not know that now, but and he's calling for like a tow truck to get help, and then a car comes down the road, loses control, hits his car with his wife and kids are right next to his wife and kid, and they get killed. So then it cuts to him in his apartment, and he's moving out of there, and he's looking at this little ball his daughter liked, and he's very depressed. It's like a few months later. He can't get over it. He um he's very dark time in his life, and he's offered a job to go teach at a university music by, you get the feeling, one of his like old composer friends. And he does that, and let's see, does it say where it is? Because in the beginning they say they're shipping all of his stuff to Seattle, I think. So I don't know if it's in Seattle. I actually get the feeling it's on the East Coast, like an old. So, anyways, he goes to this university. I think it's on the East Coast, and he has to find somewhere to stay. And he's talking to the guy that offered him a job as a composer teacher, and they have a connection to the historical society, and he wants a place where he can play his music, where he can play his piano in peace. So it's got to kind of be, kind of in the, not the middle of nowhere, but somewhere where he can at peace play his music. There's not going to be many people around. So they end up offering him this house, this old house, built in, I think it said the 1880s or 70s, 1870s, and it's this huge house, but it has a piano and a music room, and anyways, and he takes it, and I mean, you do get the feeling like, let me guess, something happened tragic in this house. The house is haunted, and it is. Um, but it's a very good movie. It kind of slowly builds. You slowly find out more and more what is going on, what happened. It's a good mystery. Especially like the last half is just it's amazing. Um, this is definitely a movie they just wouldn't make today. They just would not make it because I mean you got George C. Scott, great actor, but I mean what is he in his 60s here? And he kind of has a love interest. I mean she's probably like in her 50s. I don't know. They just wouldn't make this today. Um, I guess maybe with Tom Cruise, but and also it just slowly builds methodically throughout the whole movie, and slowly revealing more and more. um I mean, I just watched like the new Exorcist Believer movie, and it's just so terrible. It's just such a terrible movie. It's like directors forgot how to make a creepy movie. Like this is a creepy haunted house movie that slowly builds, and yeah, and I'm a big fan of George C. Scott. I mean, I like him in Exorcist III, obviously Doctor Strangelove. I should watch some more of his movies. But but yeah, it's a very good movie. Let's see who wrote the screenplay. There's a scene with a séance that's very creepy. Um, like Poltergeist kind of, but I don't know. I may like this more than Poltergeist. I like Poltergeist, but I think this is more creepy. So yeah, I don't know the writers. The Hitchhiker TV series, never heard of it. RoboCop, the TV series. Oh man, that's a terrible show. So yeah, I don't know. Um, but yeah, I'll get into spoilers now. So he's slowly finding out that there was this that first he thinks first he finds out that this little girl in 1909, I think, was killed in a tragic accident by a cart, by like a coal cart or something. I think that means it was a horse and carriage. Yeah, I mean it's 1909 probably, and it ran her over, and she was very sick, and she was in a hospital for a while. Then she ended up dying. So first he thinks it's her, and they don't actually say this because that's another thing about this movie is they don't have to explain everything. Not everything is said. Not everything is explained. I mean, it's just left up to you to kind of infer. And I think he's thinking, well, this is kind of like my daughter's death because she was killed by a car. This is, I mean, it's somewhat a vehicle. It's a horse and carriage, but it's a vehicle kind of. And so kind of similar there. So I think he's thinking, okay, maybe this is why the house is haunted, and he's hearing these loud bangs, like metal, like a hand smashing against metal, and it's ringing throughout the whole house at a certain time. I think it's at 6 p.m., like almost every day. And the guy who takes care of the house just says, well, it's an old house that makes weird noises. Like maybe it's the furnace or something. Um, but he doesn't think so. And then he's kind of hearing like some screams, and then he sees like a child's body floating in water in, I think, the bathtub. And there's some other things going on. So he has a seance, and he thinks it's of the little girl, but then the lady who's doing the seance with her husband, she's writing like these things really fast on a piece of paper, and then that scene is very creepy. Like the lady's voice, like it's just it's like so creepy. Definitely a good movie to watch. Halloween's coming up, and this is a good one to watch. Definitely, great atmosphere. Like, it's too bad this director really didn't do that much, because man, I mean, definitely knew how to build some tension and atmosphere in this movie. Um, and then it's revealed that it's actually this boy named Joseph, and and she's writing down, okay, it's actually a boy. What's your name, Joseph? He's recording it, well, through audio. Then later he's listening to the audio, and you can actually hear this boy's voice, very low, answering her questions, like saying, all those things, and then saying, like, the well, in my room, I was killed, and so on. Um, and then later on, it's revealed that this house belonged to a guy who's 80 now, who's a U.S. senator, and um, and this house belonged to his father, who married into a very rich family, and the wife dies. The wife died, and all of her and her father died, who was the head of this, giant tycoon empire, and he left everything to a young boy who was very sick and sickly. And in the end, it's revealed that the young boy was actually killed by his father because he was sickly and ill, and if he didn't, and nothing went to this father, who was the son-in-law of the tycoon, because he married his wife, who ended up dying, but they had a son. So then it would have been his father-in-law left everything to his son, but he's very ill and sickly, and he inherits everything at 21. But if he doesn't make it at 21, then he inherits nothing. So the guy ends up killing his own son, who's sickly, and then right after he does that, he throws the body in a well, and then he ends up going to Switzerland, I think in 1906, to like an institute for health, under the guise of, we're going to cure my son. But what he's actually doing is adopting a new orphan who he was going to bring back, but then World War I broke out, so he just waited until 1918 when it ended. Then the kid's 18, he brings him back, and then that's his son. And of course, no one would suspect anything because his son and him left when they were 6. And then tragically, he also had a daughter, who died in 1909 under mysterious circumstances. I don't know, maybe because of the ghost that was his son. So yeah, and then everything went to the son when he turned 21, and he later became a U.S. senator. And then George C. Scott finds the well, finds the bones of the little boy, The police come get the bones. He then, but then he then keeps digging and finds a locket that says the boy's name. So that proves that the senator isn't really the heir. So really, he inherited a whole, tons of money, um, that wasn't really his. So yeah. So anyways, it's a very good movie. A lot of tension, a lot of mystery, a tragic story that George C. Scott connects to because his daughter was killed tragically, but this guy killed his own son, so he has a lot of anger towards that guy. Um, and yeah, it's beautifully acted, beautifully directed, shot really well. Um, just a very disturbing, creepy movie that I definitely highly recommend. Um, but yeah, I mean, yeah, this is definitely a movie they would not make anymore. Because I don't know, I guess people would find it boring or slow or something, but I really liked it. It has a really good pace to it too, I think. But yeah, the synopsis is after the death of his wife and daughter in a car crash, a music professor staying in a long vacant. Oh, it isn't Seattle. Okay. Seattle mansion is dragged into a decade-old mystery by inexplicable presence in the mansion's attic. So yeah, the ghost is basically trying to have George C. Scott confront the senator, and that's what he does. But um, but yeah, I guess that's about it. Definitely recommend the movie. It's really good. Check it out. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and happy Halloween. That's it.